What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We ain't got a saying for Wednesday. We just do Wednesday. Wet Wednesday, guys. Happy wet. Nah, that ain't gonna work. So we got a couple stories. As you guys can see, the tab is all tabbed out, and we're gonna talk a lot about UFC BJJ. Probably nothing good. Probably nothing good. Okay. So we got let's start with Espen. He got some good techniques for us to check out. Kiss of the Dragon, 4 back takes from reverse de la Hiva. So some really cool stuff. Some of it's kind of hard to understand. Even when I met Espen, I was like, I still couldn't understand some of the moves. So just gotta practice. So we'll watch that one more time. Kiss of the Dragon. You guys know Kiss of the Dragon. Barambolo. He does like a kind of a lace and in the Matrix. So he doing some extra stuff. But as anything, you just got to slow it down, and that's why I think you guys got to drill. I mean, how are you going to figure that out ecologically? You upside down. You can't think ecologically upside down. So we're gonna check that out. You guys check that out. You know, if you got time to drill, go drill. Great techniques. I would love to do a video on Espen. I think maybe something this year. We'll see. We'll see how the schedule's looking, how my productivity's looking. But man, really great stuff in the gi. We can kind of see him doing more no gi stuff. And as always, they got the Mavericks.com. So he's got a lot of instructionals on there, as well as John Thomas, if you guys want to check them out. I'm not sponsored by those guys, but, those guys are cool, so you can check them out. We got some USADA. We got a lot of stuff, bro. I don't know who else got a show like mine. So we got Helena, Team Helena. They're going out to Polaris the 28th, which I believe is this weekend. So shout out to the ladies. This is the American crew. And also shout out to the UK crew, the European girls. I'm a big supporter of female jiu-jitsu, guys. So they got the team ready. They got the outfits. I guess they don't have to wear the same shorts. Helena, of course, got the spats matching the rash guard, and everybody else doing whatever they want to do. So shout out to everybody over here. Shout out to my friend Alex over here. There's some more pictures? I can't cover their promotion because they're part of UFC Fight Pass, and they will copyright strike me. They're over here in front of some old British building. Gonna eat some peas and mash. Shout out to the ladies. Let's go team. Tatami, Tatami, they kind of in charge of Europe. Tatami, King's Kimonos. Those kind of like the two heavy hitters in Europe. They don't really wear everything else over there. Fion was too scared of you. Nah, come on, bro. Get out of here with that talk. I'm still Team Fion all the way. We got one championship changing some of their rules. Let's listen. Let me upload that again. What happened, bro? Why is it going slow? Is that just that video? Something's wrong with the videos, guys. Let's see. Why is it going so slow? Let me check that out. I don't think that was supposed to do like that, guys. Let me check something out real fast. That ain't supposed to do that. When you do a live show like this, stuff goes wrong sometimes. It happens. Let me see if I do it through the port.
For the fences and brawling to get KO bonus. That's not Muay Thai. I don't want to give them bonuses. Maybe put the regular gloves back on.
They got music, so I can't play that. But what he's saying is that Chaudhary, Mikey's his old boss, says that he no longer wants to give bonuses for brawling. I was about to say sprawling, brawling. So you got to use technique in one championship now if you want that bonus. Which makes me wonder, why did Mikey leave one championship? We don't have any answers, but says Chaudhary has addressed a noticeable. I'm gonna read it again when it comes back around. I just forgot I could pause this too. Let's see. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody's got music, so that doesn't work with the YouTube system here, unless if you have the copyright. Chaudhary has addressed a noticeable slowdown in performance bonuses across one championship events and insisted he only wants to reward fighters who showcase elite technique, not reckless aggression. So the complete opposite of the UFC. Wow. I'm all for technique. I don't really care. Well, some people do want to see crazy brawling. That's what built the UFC. CTE and brain damage. Brain damage built the UFC. Says good Muay Thai should be able to deal with a brawler. Yeah, it's tough, bro. He says, so no bonus for Rodtang. Rodtang is not that technical. He says, to be fair, Rodtang never swings for the fences. He's always elite and accurate, so he still be rewarded. He slugs it out and drops his hands. That's true. Purposefully, all the time, which is contradictory to the point Chaudhary was making. His point had more to do with making the fight a mess by trying to only swing for the fences. That's not the same as what Rodtang does. Are you sure? If it was, he wouldn't have knocked out Takaru, cut Super Lick, and beat Haggerty twice. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I want to see more technique. I want to see martial arts. So UFC BJJ is coming out with their event tonight. I won't be covering it. UFC, they don't like anybody reacting to their videos. I just want to bring up the belt. We're gonna look at Reddit later, but my friend Christian coined it the Walmart belt. So it looks terrible. They should have just put a UFC belt. Wouldn't that be better? Just have the UFC belt there. I don't know. They completely dropped the ball, guys. How many times can I say that? The last couple weeks, that's all I've been talking about, how UFC's dropped the ball. But look at that belt, bro. It's terrible. I'm gonna buy that at Walmart later today. Claudia, she probably designed it too. So these guys, for that weight class 155, they're super tall. And I'm gonna be honest, some of these guys, I think Carlos Henrique could probably beat. He could probably beat Tackett. I think he could beat Andrew Tackett. Andrew Tackett fought Jason Off, and who else did he fight? I think he fought Davis Asari, and then he fought somebody else, some no-name dude, which doesn't mean they're not good. They set Tackett up to win. They set Mikey up to win. That's how some of these shows are, man. It's rigged. I want to see if anybody talks about that belt, though. Is this the Brazilian? We might be in Brazil. Brazilian or Instagram. I'll wait till we get to American Instagram. We got a USADA hit on USADA. We're gonna wait a little bit to pull that up. Shout out to Nolan Stewart. He just got a new sponsorship, VHTS NY. So very hard to submit, New York. They're a good company. They reached out to me a long time ago, and I was like, I deserve more money. I should have taken that. I should have taken that money, guys. That's what I'm happy with Inverted Gear, but I should have taken that money whenever they offered it to me. It was actually not that bad. I could have used that money. So guys, think about your investments and your business deals. Sometimes you mess up. That's what I did. I messed up. I'm happy with Inverted Gear, but I like VHTS too. They got some cool stuff, some cool no-gi gear apparel. So shout out to Nolan. If you don't know Nolan, he was I believe there was only 2 Americans in the finals in the men's division. You had Jalen, who won his division, and then you had Nolan, who fought Eric Munez. So I actually didn't see that match, but up and coming kid, he won Pans, which is tough for an American. It's tough to win any of these things. And so he says, excited to share with everyone that I will be representing VHTS. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, support, and the trust you have given me. Just got done training in my very first VHTS gi, and it's already my favorite. I can't wait to represent VHTS in the upcoming tournaments. You don't have to put VHTS every time, bro. You don't have to do that. Just mention it once, and then that's good. I mean, keep the same posts. Just take out the VHTS. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Just got done training in my gi, my new gi, and it's already my favorite. I can't wait to represent this team in my upcoming tournaments. So that's what I would have done. But he can do whatever he wants. He's the big dog. I'm not the biggest fan of that gi, but hey, they're paying him. That's the most important thing. They paying him. Make sure you're paying your athletes, guys. Talking about payment for athletes, we got Adele. She's over here signing some contracts. Is she signing another exclusive UFC contract?
Tune to the announcement. It's going to be an epic one.
Can't play that music. Who, she says, next match loading. Who could it possibly be? I don't know. Somebody fought already? I can confirm that no Uki was harmed in the making of this video. Are they from a famous family? Nope. You think it's Sarah Gabal? No, I don't know. Who knows? Who will be Adele's next victim? Adele, she go for them submissions, guys. You gotta watch out. We did the whole video on her, but she liked to submit. Jasmine Hosha, I mean, she dismantled Jasmine Hosha earlier. Jasmine Hosha, she was in the hospital. She had a bad weight cut. So we'll see. Maybe she'll be fighting some, WNBA player. Talking about the ladies, we got Margot. She's got music. She says, the origin story of chasing my dreams and the essence of who I am. My golden decade of jiu-jitsu was in my 20s, and I went to New York City with a lot of energy and a big pocket full of dreams. Remember, it's the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. I believe it. I'm a hybrid product of a lot of people investing into me. And you must remember, I wasn't always nomadic by choice. I was nomadic because being world-class in that generation that I grew up in jiu-jitsu wasn't always possible without travel. I adore being nomadic because it made me a better problem solver and exposed me to an abundance of movement problems. Improvising became supernatural to me because it taught me to be adaptable and to figure things out. It taught me a lot about life, love, and falling too. Man, she got some experiences. Shout out to Margot. I'm grateful to everyone who has influenced me over the years, and the greatest gift to me was from one of my former instructor's wives. She gifted me a t-shirt that was signed by the Mendez Bros, and she told me that I should train at AOJ one day. I did it in 2014, and it forever shaped my journey. One of my greatest memories in jiu-jitsu was crying in Professor Hoffa's arms because I didn't want to go back to London. It left such a grateful impact on me. I'm a hybrid product, mainly of Unity, AOJ, and Inglorious Grapplers. The OG Viking Wong, who exposed me to cross-training and being an open-minded grappler, deserves mention here too. Jude DeSamuel, I don't know who that is, for providing me with the toughest training room and best instruction in London at the time. I'm a product of following my dreams, and trust me, I never know when to stop. I might always choose the hard way with my artistic narratives, but you will never see me stop until I achieve what I came here to achieve. Thank you to Polaris for the beautiful storytelling and editing. Perhaps I will make my own video more at length about my nomadic life in jiu-jitsu. So shout out to Margot. She's one of the more eccentric grapplers out there. But I respect it. It's okay to be different. I'm pushing that USADA back a little bit, guys, till we get some more people in the chat. Talking about my ladies, we got the ladies today. What's going on, Alec? What's going on with all these ladies over here? We got Victoria. She's doing the second annual 3-day camp, JCU Wrestling complete. And we had an absolute blast. Watching girls and women's wrestling grow year after year is truly one of my favorite things in the world. Huge thank you to John Carroll University, oh, that's JCU Wrestling, and this amazing group for having me. From all of the staff to every athlete, everyone was such a joy to work with. Wishing everyone who attended the best of luck. Yeah, man, look at the girls, bro. You guys, a lot of you coaches you're not marketing to the ladies. You don't have no female program. You ain't got no female students. You missing out. There's a lot of female wrestling, one of the fastest growing sports in America. And you know, what are they going to do during the off season? They might want to train some jiu-jitsu. You know, there's going to be a lot more girls and ladies going to jiu-jitsu, so you got to make space for them. If you don't, man, you're missing out, bro. I can only say so much before, you guys miss out. Awesome group. What I wouldn't give to attend a Victoria Vortex camp. Same here. I want to go. Sign me up. I don't want to be the only dude in the class, though. I don't want to be creepy like that. Might have to bring some friends with me. Talking about the ladies, we got Helen and Victoria over here. They two-piece in a pod. So homegirl just had a birthday. Happy birthday, girl. They doing it, man. They doing it. They doing it. They doing too much sometimes. Shout out to the ladies of wrestling and the ladies of jiu-jitsu and the ladies of judo. They living their best life, Henry Cejudo over there. We got Mikey. He gonna have Cobrinha and Gilbert Burns over there in his corner. So Gilbert Burns, you guys don't know he's a world champion. But he went over to the UFC probably 2009 or so, 2010, something like that. And then Cobrinha, if you don't know who Cobrinha is, where have you been? Darth Rigatoni. Hey, Mikey, he going to be fighting Harrison. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, he's the favorite to win. Talking about my jiu-jitsu girls, we got Helena with her bird.
But we
She looked like she collect birds and cats and dogs. She looked like she got a lot of animals around her house. She got that animal. She got animal dandruff on her. I better stop. Guys. She loved animals, man. Yeah. So she got her bird over here. I think you're not supposed to pet your birds like that, guys. I heard you're not supposed to pet the birds. I saw that in a YouTube video. Don't pet the bird like that. Don't be petting the birds like that. They get addicted to that stimulation, apparently. Yeah, that's addicting right there. Alina, let go of that bird, Alina. What are you doing to that bird? And guys, before you come after me, I think it's true. I'm pretty sure it's true. You're not supposed to be petting the birds like that. That bird addicted. Some of you, I better stop. I'm going to stop. Alina, stop petting that bird like that, though. Get off that bird. If someone is good with animals, it is probably good with people, too. I don't know. Sometimes people that good with animals ain't good with people. That's the opposite. Alrighty. As I said earlier, we got Helena versus Nia, UK versus the American team. UK team looking a little underpowered and outsized. I don't think that's fair. I feel like this is not a fair matchup over here. Fionn, we're gonna need you for backup. They needed Fionn. They need Fionn to win that. They got how many 80s? They got ADCC vet. I don't know who these other two girls are. Probably tough. ADCC vet. I don't know about the other girls. Who are the other girls? And Stevenson, I think she's done some stuff too. But come on, bro, that don't seem fair. Who made that matchup, bro? So we I think we looked at this earlier. Let's look at that belt again. That Walmart belt. I want that Walmart belt. I'm gonna go buy it for $29.99 at Walmart later today. I'm gonna go buy. I'm gonna go. Who made that belt? Why does it look like that? Just you guys had extra UFC belts. Let's go look for a UFC belt. They couldn't just take a UFC belt and who messed this up? No, just take an extra UFC belt and put it over there, or take an old one, or I don't know. Do the same get the same UFC belt. I mean, UFC belt ugly too. But they couldn't have just taken a UFC belt just like that. They couldn't have done that. All right, cool, awesome, amazing. UFC belt. They didn't need to do nothing crazy. Why they have to do something special? That belt too special, bro. Jason Whitfield, what's up, bro? He says, I must admit I was not expecting all the bird knowledge. Thank you, Alec. We all learned to bro, I got knowledge. How do you think I can talk about this stuff for 2 hours? Sometimes 3 hours. I got a little bit of knowledge. I'm not saying I know everything. But I'll sit down and research a little bit. Right now we're talking about this UFC belt. So they couldn't have grabbed this belt, or they couldn't have grabbed the old OG belt. Yeah, the OG belt would have been great. UFC champion. Oh, you can buy them on Alibaba. I didn't know that. It's fake though. Man, UFC, bro. Come on, guys. If you're defending UFC BJJ, they messed up the belt. Nobody can defend this belt. Jason Whitfield, you gonna defend this belt over here, this ugly belt, this Walmart belt? Man, who designed that? Champion of what? Man, just put the freaking UFC belt right over there. Even the new one would have been better than that. Man, they should have just grabbed the belt from out the office and put it right there, bro. That would have been great. UFC. I ain't defending UFC BJJ, guys. We got USADA. I'm trying to push that USADA back a little bit. Though. Here's Mikey. He says live free on YouTube. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe we'll see. UFC's YouTube channel. Hate me, love me. We are making an impact on growing this sport to the world. Blessed to be a part of it. Mikey, did you say the same thing about one championship? I like Mikey, but I've been following him for a couple years. Yo, what's up, Rich Homie Quan? We're gonna be talking about that gi later. Don't worry. Quan says instead of a black belt on the belt, they should have had like a rash guard on it, since the UFC BJJ event is no gi. Yeah, what was the branding? They don't got no gi division. Yeah, good Quan, no design. Quan, would you design that belt like that, bro? Quan would have hooked that belt up, bro. And he's right about the belt. I mean, they don't even have a triangle. I think they were going for a triangle shape. They put some weird shape right there. So I actually might check on this. I think the undercard is terrible though. I think they messed that up. Doing a face-off against Mikey must be the least intimidating thing ever. Look at Harrison Chill. He ain't nobody afraid of Mikey. The only time you should be afraid of Mikey is if he grabs your foot. Then you should be afraid. But otherwise, don't be afraid of Mikey, bro. Just take his glasses. He can't see. He has blown some knees out. All the people that he took their knees out, either they were old and retired like Imanari, or it was like someone from like Kazakhstan that didn't do any jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, bro. We'll see how it goes. We talked about Mikey yesterday. Look at Homeboy. Homeboy ripped up. He on that pizza sauce. Jason Whitfield says, I'm pretty sure I saw Claudia making this belt on her OnlyFans Platinum membership. What she got on there, bro? I can't I can't waste that money on that OnlyFans. But let me know what she's doing on there. She was blindfolded and using her feet. I enjoyed it. Okay. Maybe I should check it out. What do you guys think? Should I be checking out the OnlyFans? We got Mikey. Mikey about to start his OnlyFans. Only friends? Only pizza? I don't know. He looking ripped. I have no idea how you get that ripped on pizza, but you know, what do I know? Moving on to wrestling, we got All I See Is Gold over here. Mr. JB, Mr. Jordan Burroughs. He got his new, I don't know if these are new shoes, but got his Rudis shoes out there. I do want a new pair of Rudis shoes. Rudis, can I get a sponsorship? Sorry, Nelson. I need a shoe sponsor. As far as I know, there's no jiu-jitsu person with the shoe. Inverted Gear does make a shoe. They make the Chilean shoes. I want a real shoe though, Nelson. You got the Rudis shoes. My boy Xavier, he like Nike, but I like Rudis. I like Asics. Nike's cool too. Engineered for greatness. I was hoping those Kyle Snyders would be on sale. I was hoping. I had my fingers crossed, bro. I was like, bro, they're gonna put them Kyle Snyders on sale for about $69, $70. I might scoop one up, but they full price, unfortunately. He says those shoes are engineered for ankle picks. Uh-oh. Dang. Perfect finger grips for ankle picks. Oh, there. Everybody's saying that. Oh, you saying that's good for gripping? You still need grip, though, for your feet. We got USADA. I'm pushing that USADA off as long as I can, guys. I'm pushing USADA off. I'm hiding underneath the cage.
There you go, ladies and
Yo, that belt looked flimsy. That belt looked flimsy. Quan says AP got Nikes and New Balance collabs. You got those, Quan? My man Ted Choi over there in Vegas, man. I gotta get him to train with you. This belt looks terrible. It looks bad. Mikey will win. If Gabriel wins, it will be a miracle. I think they had him in this on purpose to set Mikey versus whoever wins the show, super fight. It sounds like they can't get nobody on this show. The show gonna die if they can't get nobody to fight. Nobody wants to sign that contract.
Yeah, right there, man.
That's Carlos Henrique. That's the guy that tore my man Isaac's arm off. So he's getting ready. You know, they're at that Performance Institute. They can cut weight. They can. Dang, how much weight you got to cut? He like 6 foot guys, so you got to cut a lot of weight. Got him under the space blanket. Maybe should have started the cut before you got to the venue. I would have started the cut the day before. So he does 155. I think he normally competes at 170. So I honestly think he might have a shot at beating Tackett. They're in different weight classes, but he actually probably could beat Tackett. We'll see how he does, man. It's gonna be a good match. Oh, Rich Homie Quan. So shout out to Rich Homie Quan. He the one that sent me this abomination over here. Quan, you gonna defend this gi? Quan? Bro, my eyes hurt. Jesus. Albino Impredo says, we partner with Wind and Sea, an apparel brand from Japan that keeps proposing new ideas by cutting out various trend scenes. Together, we've created a capsule collection that fuses the combat-ready functionality with a relaxed coastal vibe. So I have no idea what is going on. I don't know what Show Your Roll does. I don't know what AP does, but Rich Homie Quan supports it. So this is one of the worst skis I've ever seen in my life, but you know, whatever. Maybe I'm just uncultured, really. I'm just uncultured. That's what Quan said. I don't see the beauty. You guys can see. Can you guys see right here? Let's see. Can you guys see right there? Quan over here tagging me over here. Jason says, you made a good point the other day about wrestlers and why they don't do better in jiu-jitsu. The shoes are probably a big reason. I mean, shoot. We all become the Flintstones when we got our feet out and no grip. Even Jason Knopf looked uncoordinated when he was grappling. He had no traction. And he went for that fireman's carry. I need my wrestlers to come to Jason Knopf's defense, guys. Quan gonna be wearing that. I'm gonna let you wear that, bro. I'm gonna wear my pandas. I'm gonna wear my panda gi. I don't have to worry about people making fun of my gi when I put the panda on. So shout out to AP and Show Your Roll. Show Your Roll's helped me out a lot, over the years. Is that the same gi? I mean, I can't wear this, but Quan can wear it. Quan. I can't see where one guy begins and the other guy starts or ends. Imagine they filmed an instructional with both guys wearing the same gi. You're like, guys, what in the world is going on over here? And the rash guard. Yeah. It's a no for me, bro. Quan can wear it though.
That is that if you're an athlete and you have a position of power in the sport, don't forget the value you hold. And that is that if you're truly undeniable, you can sign single match deals and your power lies in a single match deal, because the one that's under exclusive contract will not be able to renegotiate that contract very easily at all. You are an independent contractor under exclusive contract, which means that they have all the power and zero liability for you. And really, I guess I would say your injuries and anything that comes from the sport. But the exclusivity means that you can't shop around, you can't negotiate, you can't leverage offers against offers, Obviously, in terms of contract negotiation, you can offer single match deal this price, exclusive contract this price. But hopefully you can find someone in a jiu-jitsu gym that is a lawyer. Jiu-jitsu is like a secret society. You should have access to someone. You could put out a post and one of your followers will probably be a lawyer. I'm not going to say if you message me, I'm going to see it and help you, but I am available because I understand the reality of the sport from a both high-level athlete perspective, someone that's negotiated high-level sponsorship deals, someone that's ran a promotion himself, someone that's negotiated sponsorship deals for that promotion. So I have a bit of a good understanding about how MMA as a whole and fight sports contracts negotiations work and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So if you ever need advice, I have helped other athletes out there. So one last thing about that.
Yeah, I think that, I be risen, not risen. I will use a little bit of clickbait with Craig Jones on it. But I got to say, man, you put UFC against Craig Jones. I don't understand why you would work with the UFC. Unless you just you grew up with it, you love it. That's been your dream to work with the UFC. But it makes more sense to me to partner with someone like Craig Jones. He understands the sport. He's been where you've been. He's negotiated all the contracts. He's been everywhere. He's done everything. Who's Number One? He's done UFC Fight Pass. He's done his own show, ADCC. He's done everything. So it doesn't make sense to me to work with the UFC when I see how they treat their fighters. You see they got sued left and right for not paying people, predatory contracts. Dana White doesn't care about you guys. Clearly, Ben Askren, he fought in UFC a couple of times, three fights. He didn't even make $1 million. And, they're trying to raise money so he can get treatment, while Dana White will waste $2.8 million on a yacht. Yeah. And, Craig Jones, you see him helping people, and he's given more money to, he's put more money in the sport than the UFC, than a lot of these other people, than most of the promotions he's put more money into. And no exclusive contracts. You do whatever you want. You get the same amount of reach. CJI had 4 million views. I think the first one had 4 million views or something. The first day had 4 million views. I don't know how many views UFC Fight Pass got. Oh, you know what? I meant to talk about that. As a percentage of their follower count, they have 20 million subscribers on UFC BJJ. Let's pull that up, actually. Not for UFC BJJ. They have 20 million for UFC. UFC BJJ ain't got nothing. So let's see if it shows. Let's see, 294, 319, 1.2, 1.2. So they are getting numbers, but let's be honest here. UFC has 20 million subscribers. They have 20 million subscribers. For reference point, let's look at Mr. Beast. He's probably the biggest YouTuber. I ain't saying I support Mr. Beast, but we're gonna look at him. Let's see, Mr. Beast. For reference, he has 400 million.
This is my friend Matt.
He has 400 million subscribers. His videos get 100, 120, 92. So he's not getting 400 million. I mean, there's barely 400 million people on YouTube, but he gets 100 million, easy 100 million followers. So there's like a certain percentage of subscribers to views you want to aim for. I don't know. But let's look at CJI. CJI had 1.2 million views. Of course, they didn't do the same number. 2 million views for day one. Yeah, day one had 2 million views. Day two had 1.5 million views. So of course, not the same amount as as UFC BJJ. The difference is that was live streamed, so it's a different metric. Live stream, to get live stream views, that number. I mean, it's been on YouTube for a while too, but I think it did get 1 million views, like live stream. So UFC BJJ, as far as I know, was filmed already. Now this next one might be live with the final, but it was already filmed weeks ago. So Alex says, don't forget the value, Craig basically said this, don't forget the value you hold. If you are truly undeniable, you can sign single match deals. So if you find that you win that UFC Fight Pass, they want you on that exclusive contract. Quan says, B Team for the people. Yeah, I don't always like B Team, but they've been better than a lot of these other gyms that be covering stuff up. Craig Jones for president. Yeah, he should be in charge of the IBJJF. Says, I'll take the middle ground. What about 1 year exclusive contracts for 4 fights? No. Yeah, you don't know. UFC, Dana White could cancel UFC BJJ tomorrow. He looks at the numbers. He might cancel it tomorrow. So, what was Slap Fight getting? I just want to see. Slap Fight. Ooh, they don't get no views. Okay, okay. Is it Power Slap? That's the name of it. Okay, Power Slap don't get no views. Power Slap ain't getting no views. Power Slap not getting no views. That's what Dana White created. Remember, Dana White didn't create the UFC. UFC was already around. It was already a product. It already had a brand name. Slap Fight. Now this is what Dana White has done. They ain't getting no views over here. So UFC BJJ might stick around for a while. Slap Fight, man, that's a failure. That's a failure. So we've been talking about this belt. Jiu-jitsu people are cringy, bro. This belt's cringy. Claudia's cringy. Actually, I don't mind Claudia too much. I just don't want to hear her. I better stop. I just don't want to hear her. Her voice is deeper than mine, man. Oh, we got Charles Oliveira. What does he got to say?
Apaixonado pelo jiu-jitsu, ver o quanto o nosso jiu-jitsu vem.
It's in Portuguese. I want you guys to have to think in Portuguese. I don't mind it myself though. Same clip, Mikey. Got music. Hey, Dark Frigatoni. Hey, Mikey Musumeci. Harrison, pick your chin up, man. Pick your chin up, Harrison. Jason says it gets worse. UFC BJJ Brazil is only getting like 10,000 views per episode. So not good for the future. Brazil, they like the gi. Americans like no gi, but Brazilians like the gi. So they got the belt, and Claudia not looking too happy over there, is she? This is the finals, Claudia. You should be happy. She didn't look too happy. I'm gonna pause on her for a second. She looked tired. She don't look too happy. She looked worn out. Why didn't they get an actual business person? They got a UFC fighter. I don't know what I better stop. We got Krikorian's back too. They brought him back. Usually they bring back some of the better fighters. They bring him back. So he's got a match. I don't know this other kid. What's the other kid's name? João Asanatis. I don't really know him. He looks tough though, so we'll see. USADA. I'm pushing off USADA, guys. I'm pushing off USADA as long as I can. I'm running away from USADA, guys. Talking about Krikorian.
Did you say Keith? No? Got it. Were you waving to someone else? No problem. Were you trying to get a shot at me? That's fine.
So they're talking about growing the sport, and I'm gonna be honest. Usually this stuff, it doesn't really grow. Growth doesn't really work like this. I mean, you do have social media, but I mean, they're not good at marketing. How your social media gonna grow? They don't market you. You got to do funny skits yourself. They might, someone like Tackett might get a lot of followers from winning the UFC BJJ, but most of these guys, their follower count didn't really go up or down. They got to go back to their regular lives, or hope they get a contract, or they might be on some other card. So we'll see. Just you're not really gonna get famous from this stuff. Mikey, the only people that might do well from this, maybe those the guys that win might do well, but I think it's mostly going to be Mikey. But I just got to be honest, Mikey's not like someone I would think is a star. He's a star of our sport, but he's not a star. Like someone like Tackett possibly could be, Craig Jones, those guys. Mikey I don't think he has that ability. Maybe he can pull through, or if they can rebrand Zuckerberg, they can rebrand Mikey. I don't know who's got more autism though. So yeah, shout out to Keith. He says kind of weird. Okay, well, I don't want to read that. Yeah, I mean, I always say you got to market yourself. Getting into the UFC don't really mean too much. You got to do the hard work yourself. That's why all these fighters like Buckley, they be saying some wild stuff, right? Can't back up half the stuff, but they be saying all the wild stuff. Is that Jasmine Hosha? Let me. Jason Whitfield says, I wonder what pickleball did for marketing. That this is the fastest growing sport by far. They can't make enough courts to play on to keep up. Well, pickleball. I'm not sure what they did for marketing. I think it's just a popular sport. Old people can do it. They don't have to move around. It's basically accessible to people that couldn't play tennis. I'm not sure as far as their marketing. There's trends. You see trends in fitness. CrossFit was a trend. You got High Rocks coming through. I don't even know what High Rocks means. Tennis been popular for a long time, and then it's kind of tough though. You got to take a lot of lessons. But pickleball, you can pick that up pretty quick. That ball, you got that wiffle ball. That thing goes slow. I think there's just trends. You can say jiu-jitsu's been a trend, and then what something else might come up. I don't know. Karate might come back on top. Taekwondo, all that stuff's been a trend. You go back into the 70s and 80s, kung fu, karate, taekwondo, Taibo, all this stuff was a trend at a certain point. Quan ready to play some pickleball. Quan train once a week, but he'll go play some pickleball. Quan, I gotta give you a hard time, bro. It's just a trend, It's a cool way to meet people. It's not too tough. Get a good workout. Some of you people are hurting your knees though, so you guys got to find another hobby. You can't that pickleball taking your knees out. Jiu-jitsu too. It depends on how you roll, bro. It's just how people are. They want to join the new hot thing. I don't know what the new thing will be. Pickleball running. Something else will come through. Some other sport, some yoga, some cycling, some ballet, some bar. There's always some fitness thing coming through, bro. I can't keep up with the fitness trends. People just like to stay up to date, Speaking about staying up to date, we got Roberto versus my boy Super Aiken. I thought Roberto broke his arm, but apparently he's good. Quan says, I played pickleball like twice in the past 5 years. Definitely see why it's growing. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more approachable than tennis. Smaller court. You ain't got to run around like that. So we'll see how these guys do. Aiken's really good. He kind of gassed out at ADCC, but he can finish that outside heel hook though. You let him get that outside heel hook, he's gonna finish you. I'm not an expert on pickleball. I have a friend that coaches it. Maybe I can ask him. He teaches all the racket sports: pickleball, squash, tennis. Okay, so okay, guys, don't try to leg lock the leg lockers, okay? This might be a good match. I just hope Roberto's arm is okay.
Movement. You got PJ Duke and Jack's Force high schoolers in Final X. You got Marcus Blaze, could be national team in 2 different weight classes. What are your thoughts on you as a fan observing that?
Which one of these guys is going to bomb out first? Does one of these guys get a girlfriend and leave the sport? Yes. Does one of these guys get a knee injury and leave the sport? Yes. Does one of these guys stumble into drugs and booze and distraction and leave the sport? Yes, yes, and yes. How many of them will do it? Probably 80%. What? You probably got about a 20% success rate. And I've seen good wrestlers before, by the way. None of these guys are changing the world. It's tough at that next level. And it's tough when you get those distractions. If you're going to be good in wrestling, you got about 10 years. But if you meet a kid that's starting that 10-year clock at 7 and 8 and 9, historically speaking, it does not work out.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this?
So Quan says they're both growing. I will say the injury rate, we talked about a boxer. I can't remember the dude's name, but he was hard-headed. He went all in and got injured really badly. He didn't want to tap out, injured his neck pretty badly. So I think what we'll see is people they gonna get more injured. They go all in. They get all the gear, not the supplements gear, but the clothing gear. They buy all the AP gis, the show your old gis, the inverted gear gis, the VHTS gis. They get all the gear. They want to train 6 times a day. They get injured, they quit. So I think that's what's going to happen. most people out of shape. We see that in jiu-jitsu. We see that pickleball. People ain't moved. They ain't ran. They ain't twisted in years. And then they're going to get injured. So I think that's going to be one of the downsides to both of these sports. It's also why both are not the best entertainment for watching. A lot of beginners. Yeah. The only thing we got going, we got more BJJ influencers probably. I'm sure you got some pickleball influencers too. And you got to realize a lot of the tennis people, they invest into pickleball as well. So I'm interested to see when that fad kind of, give about 5-10 years, that fad goes down. All the pickleball courts turn back into tennis courts or whatever. Volleyball court. Volleyball might be the next sport. I don't know. So we'll see, man. That's kind of the cool thing to being older. You start seeing the patterns and like, oh, well, okay, I'll see when this trend ends, or you might spot a trend before, kind of earlier. I think jiu-jitsu, honestly, I think jiu-jitsu's peaking. You know, when you got all the celebrities doing it, when you got promotions like UFC, BJJ kind of messing up everything, I think that's when you about to hit your peak soon. And it'll be like skateboarding. You know, people, skateboarding was super popping in the 90s. Fruit booting, aka inline skating, was super popular in the 90s, early 90s to mid 90s, skateboarding a little bit later 90s. And you saw those sports go like this. They grow explosively, and then they kind of petered through. So jiu-jitsu is going to be the same. It's all the same stuff, guys. We got Uncle Chill. He talking about some stuff. Let's skip it, bro. I don't want to deal with him. We got Tackett versus Andy Varela. So we'll see how this match goes. I think everybody's kind of going for Tackett. Varela's good. He just can't beat Joseph Chin. But Tackett beat Joseph Chin, but Joseph Chin also beat Tackett. So we'll see how that goes. He says, first ever championship belt on the line, no matter what anyone says, win or lose. I came up on the second slide. You can't break me. Huge thank you to all my people for the support and love. So he I think he was one of the older dudes on there. Him and Kevon. 33. He's still young. How are these guys all 6 foot at 170 and 155? How are you guys all 6 foot? So shout out to him. We'll see how that match goes. I think most people are going for Tackett though, but you never know. You never know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm pushing off USADA, guys. USADA, stay back. Let's go ahead and look at the Reddit for the belt. So this is the belt that they got from Walmart. It says, this looks like something you'd buy in Fortnite. No. This thing sucks. The whole show sucks. I'm sure some of the jiu-jitsu was okay. But that's not up to the show. The jiu-jitsu people were already good. It says, I thought Assassin's Creed. It's like the person that designed the Octagon Timex watches for them got tasked with designing the belt. It's so terrible. Terra belt. That's actually kind of funny. That's ugly. That's ugly. UFC BJJ will be the first sport anyone is trying to be second place. And they hated Craig Jones because he spoke the truth and it was foretold, so it has to be. People hate Craig Jones. Gordon Ryan. Let's see. Looks like a bad Reebok giveaway prize. Let's see. No idea why they covered up the world. World champion is one of the most bastardized terms in professional sports. Restaurant. Let's see. Andrew Tackett is the only one, and he's steamrolling everyone. Well, he was fighting. He fought. Who did he fight? He fought Jason Nolf, who shouldn't have been out there. He fought some other dude that shouldn't have been out there. They padded everything for him. That looks atrocious. You guys are never happy. UFC produces super cool hot dog grill brands, garbage. UFC produces shorts that only cut your balls slightly when grappling, ridiculous. UFC comes into your home, slaps your wife, and steals all your remote controls for science, cheap trash. Make up your minds. Oh, he's drunk. Looks like it's made out of plastic. Yep. Why is it so over-designed and complicated? Could have made it simpler. They could have just put a UFC belt on there. A regular UFC belt that they had in the storage. Make it gold at least. Yeah, it's super tacky. Super tacky and ugly, so it'll be right at home in the BJJ community. I'm throwing up. This has TKO influence all over it. Can't wait for Craig Jones to post about this. I'd rather wear a tap out shirt. The one thing the UFC has dropped the ball on in the modern era is belt design and manufacturing. They look like booty and are really brittle. Most other promotions have them beat in that category. Yeah, it's ugly. The whole concept of making this league could possibly be a very interesting way of increasing KOs in the UFC. Let the BJJ guys flock to this league and run it. Yeah, so pretty ugly. I can't defend it. I won't. We got the body cam from John Jones. I love the body cam footage. That's how we got Snyder. They had my man pants down, single it out. Let's see how they got John Jones.
Me as PSA Lopez. And who am I speaking to?
What's your name?
PSA Lopez. With the Albuquerque Police Department.
How many guys you guys out there with you?
Don't worry about that, man. Were you the one driving the vehicle?
My brothers attacked the dreams of the sisters and cell phones.
He was the one driving the vehicle.
They slip through. They're the most evil people you'll ever meet.
That's John Jones.
Hello, who am I speaking to? John Jones?
Mm-hmm. He was the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't waste their cases with just killing you on petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this, and some of them are bored enough to kill you. To kill you. Because they listen. And they teach me to be a man when I'm a dog.
So, listen to me, man. He's making threats, and if he's making threats, I gotta call an officer out here.
Call him.
Well, guess what, dude? You won't be the first guy this year that I threatened. It's gonna die. You get a second one.
John Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Exposing enough.
Exposing what?
Like this government.
Like the government and stuff. Like what?
I'll stay here.
Or the ones who would really kill you.
Are the ones that will kill me?
No, not you. But the government, he hasn't fucked with the government just for conversations like this already. I would imagine. Dude, my phone is 100% aware.
Dude, I don't know what the f*** you're talking about. My car is wrecked.
If I grab this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And who's your friend?
My friend is Bones Jones, John Jones.
Oh, exposing enough.
Yeah. So, John Jones should have shut up. He should have shut that mouth. Officer, let me get my lawyer. Where's his lawyer at? So yeah, not looking good. Who cares anymore? Let the dude retire. We got some rough jiu-jitsu over here. Let's watch how these guys be grappling over here. Someone might need to keep an eye on that guy. I mean, it's too late. He already messed up his whole life. His whole career has been messed up. Let's see. It doesn't want to work. This how some of you guys be rolling. That's how you guys be rolling. That's how you guys be rolling with me, trying to hurt me. Quan says, keep an eye on that guy. Yeah, John Jones. Is it me or does John sound very similar to BJ Penn? He should get tested. Well, they definitely, a lot of these fighters have issues, the CTE and all this other stuff. I believe BJ Penn has something called capgras. I'm not sure if it's not bipolar. It's like they see delusions and they think people are out to get them. BJ Penn can't recognize his own mom, so that's not a good situation. Plus drug use. Both fighters been using a lot of drugs over the years, so this stuff catches up to them. They old and doing all this drugs and no telling what supplements they took. Well, John Jones definitely tested positive a couple times, but it's a bad whole. It's like the situation is just really bad. Quan says being champion might have been all he had, and after retiring, he might not have much more to live for in his own mind. So, I don't want to see anything happen to John Jones, but I really don't want to see anything to happen to his family or, maybe Daniel Cormier or someone. So, yeah. We got power slap in jiu-jitsu, too. That's what Daddy Dana wants. Why didn't he do a slap fight kind of deal? Not slap fight. What's the thing? Combat jiu-jitsu kind of deal. Well, I think they do have the EBI thing, but they should have brought their UFC version or something. I don't know. I ain't trying to help them out. Shoot, let's go to USADA now. I tried to fight USADA, but couldn't fight USADA no more. Where's the most recent one at, bro? Here we go. Who else got a live stream that covers USADA like me? I don't think there's nobody else in jiu-jitsu like me doing a show like this. Who else sit here and read all the USADA lingo? Anybody else doing that? Can somebody let me know someone else got that going on, or just me? So if somebody bite my videos, bite my style, be like, hey, yo, Alec did it first, bro. Alec did it first. Had a frog in my throat. You guys try talking for 2 hours straight every day. Maybe you guys do. I don't know. We got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete Francisco Lowe. I don't know if there's any relation to Leandro Lowe. Accepts sanction for anti-doping rule violation. This came out a couple days ago, 23rd of June, 2025. USADA announced today that Francisco Lowe in California, an athlete in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, has accepted a 3-year period of ineligibility for an anti-doping rules violation after testing positive for prohibited substances. How many of these stories have I read? I've read like a lot of these stories. Low, 24? It's crazy. These guys, they be 24, 25. They on some stuff. I'm over here. The only stuff I got, Shakalicious gummies. That's all I got. I'm on some Shakalicious gummies. That's all I got. I ain't got nothing else, guys. He tested positive for, I can't even say this. This is the thing right here. Let me he tested positive for this. I can't even say that. What is that? How do you even say that? That's one thing right there, guys. Chloral hydromethyl methyl norandrostan. What kind of designer supplement is that? I don't even know what these kids are taking no more. You guys want me out here fighting kids on all this stuff. We don't know what it got these kids turning green. These kids got horns on their heads. It says it's a long-term metabolite of the dihydrochloromethyl testosterone, DHCMT. I don't know what that is. What does it do? I'm fighting some super soldiers. It says, as well as a noradrenaline, a metabolite of nandrolone, as the result of an in-competition drug test conducted at the 2025 Pan International Championship. I believe Francisco Lowe, did he win the I think he closed out the middle heavy division or something like that at Pans a couple months ago. So that was 2025 Pans. I was there. I was hoping somebody in my division got popped. It says Lowe's urine sample was analyzed using, and guys, they don't test everybody. They test a very small sample. They might have tested 2 people at the whole black belt division. And for some reason, they don't test some of the best guys there. I need to jump on that USADA hotline. Don't worry, I'm going to do that later. His sample was analyzed using a specialized test known as an isotope ratio mass spectrometer, IRMS, that equivocally differentiates between naturally produced body, basically testosterone produced naturally by the body, and testosterone, noradrenaline, of synthetic origin. The IRMS analysis results was consistent with the exogenous origin in his sample. Although the IBJF is not a signatory to the World Anti-Doping Code, USADA was contracted by the IBJF to conduct testing for the event. It says DHCMT and nandrolone are anabolic androgenic steroids, AAS. All AASs are non-specified substances in the class of anabolic agents, which are prohibited at all times under the code and the USADA protocol for Olympic and Paralympic movement testing. So this violation carries a period of ineligibility of 4 or more years and may receive a 1-year sanction reduction if the athlete admits the violation. So he admitted it. He could have fought it and got 4 years, but he admitted it. So he'll be back at 29. He'll be back. He can go back to competing and using the same stuff. Slap on the wrist. No consequences. He can still do ADCC. He can still do. He might still be able to do UFC. He can still do everything else. There's no really consequences for all this stuff. It says per the rule, Lowe qualified for a 1-year reduction. He admitted it. He admitted to his usage of whatever, the violation. And so he got a 1-year reduction to the otherwise applicable 4-year period of ineligibility. Lowe's 3-year period of ineligibility began on April 28th, 2025, so that's when he was notified. The date his provisional suspension was imposed. In addition, Lowe has been disqualified from all competitive results obtained in competition. So he still got his medals. So no more results, no medals, no points, no prizes. Does he have to get the money back if he got money? Yeah. So this continues to happen. If you guys, if we went back earlier, look how many rules violations were there. All these were Brazilians too. I didn't see no Americans. Is that why the Americans aren't winning? You got a few people I like up there. A few people that don't look like they use stuff. I got a few people I know on there. You got one dude, he got 3 months, he had a little bit of weed in there, but that was okay. But Mighty Mouse said that weed is performance enhancing too. So, our sport is dirty. It's a pretty dirty sport. So, you guys know I promote clean living, healthy living. I don't want you guys 44, 40, 45, 50 having a lot of issues from dealing with this crap. We got Sean Strickland. He shares why he stopped gi BJJ training. Did he just get his black belt? What's the point of giving him a black belt if he's over here, talking shit, talking crap on jiu-jitsu, man. These MMA, these jiu-jitsu coaches that give MMA guys belts, they need to really think about it. Never one to hold back. Sean Strickland recently offered some insight into how one fight in particular changed his views on gi BJJ. You guys don't know this, but I'm actually a black belt. But the way you talk, bro, you shouldn't be a black belt. While his style leans heavily on boxing and brawling, Strickland spent years developing his grappling game until one fight shifted everything. And that moment came in UFC 210 in 2017 when he faced Kamaru Usman. So you lost the fight, so you I don't want to do jiu-jitsu no more. The jiu-jitsu didn't fail, you failed, bro. Quan says steroids in pickleball would be crazy though. I think the average pickleball age person, let's see, pretty old. Quan up there too. It's got a similar demographic too. Quan says the average age is 34.8. Most active group is 25 to 34. And the fastest growing group is 18 to 24. So you guys getting that young blood in there. We ain't getting no young people in jiu-jitsu. Over 70% of players are between 18 and 44. So the rest of the 30% are above. Old players are still active, while young players are driving growth. Those 55 and older still make up a significant portion of playing population. So yeah, pickleball, you got some old folks playing that pickleball. Let's look at pickleball injury rates though. Again, guys, we're using AI. This stuff probably not accurate. It says pickleball injuries are on the rise. Shout out to all my PT, orthopedic doctors, and whoever else. It says an estimated 19,000 injuries annually presenting to emergency departments. How many injuries do we got in jiu-jitsu? Danny Tapa says vitamins in pickleball would be wild, but sadly not surprising. Well, probably from the young people. Says the most common injuries are sprains and strains, fractures and contusions and abrasions. A significant portion of these injuries, particularly fractures, are occurring in older adults. So when these old people fall, they try to hit that pickleball, they fall, they get injured. So I'm going to suggest all these old people go to jiu-jitsu. Injuries to lower extremities are common, but the upper trunk and wrists are frequently affected. These old people getting injured. They're hurting their wrists, falling down, getting abrasions, contusions. BJJ, in jiu-jitsu, you got to worry about concussions. Probably ankles, knees, shoulders. Again, guys, we using the AI. A study of 5,000 matches showed 46 injuries, with elbow injuries being the most common. I'm thinking about my boy Isaac. Most of the injuries in jiu-jitsu are from people being stubborn, hard-headed, didn't want to tap out, overtrained. Another study reported an injury incidence of 5.5 per 1,000 hours of training. Elbow, knees, rib, foot, ankle, the whole body basically. Yeah. Quan says people use pickleball as a way to meet new potential boyfriends and girlfriends. It's like run club for the old people instead of going to bars. Yeah, people ain't going to bars. That reminds me. Remember that speakeasy we used to go to, Quan? I miss that place, man. That was a nice little spot, man. The place with the pool and the darts, and then the other place. Remember that place? It was like on the second floor. That place was nice, man. I missed that spot. Strickland says the physical beating wasn't. It says I fought Kamaru Usman and I was going for arm bars and triangles, and he was bouncing my head off the mat. That's your fault, bro. Don't blame jiu-jitsu. Once I experienced that level of misery, I said, screw the gi. I'm never wearing that again. Bro, he got CTE too. I feel sorry for these fighters, bro. GSP says he still trains as a way of living. GSP a real martial artist. Some of these dudes, they just, I don't know. They just violent. People like John Jones, BJ Penn, they just some violent dudes. But, GSP, more of a martial artist, forever cross-training, pushing himself. Oh, Cleo's in the woods. Yeah, I miss those spots, bro. We had some good times there. And, of course, Tori Tori. I meant to go to Tori Tori last time I was there. But maybe next time I go, I'll hit up Tori Tori. Quan Quan had all the good spots. GSP says, I do it now. What does he do now? His training. He says, I train now to not be the strongest fighter in the world. I do it more for therapeutic use, and it helps me be a better person. I do fasting. I do all the training because it makes me feel good. It's very therapeutic for me. It's a way of living. I'm a martial artist. I don't train because I have a competition. I train because I love it, and it helps me be better. It helps me be better in my own skin. He asked him about his retirement. He says, I could have held the belt if I wanted to, but I didn't want to hold back the division because it was, he knew there was a lot of young contenders, and he knew he could stay with the belt and parade with the belt and get all the money to sponsors and get all the money from sponsors for a year. But I didn't want to do that because it would have been put the division on the hold. So shout out to GSP. He's probably one of the better dudes out there. We got a nice little post here on Reddit. It says, don't ask your coach for life advice. I got to second that. Don't ask me for no life advice, guys. I'm trying to figure it out for myself, too. Maybe because people have watched too many kung fu movies, there's a cultural assumption that martial arts black belts are some kind of wise gurus. This doesn't happen, or barely, in any other kind of sport. That's not true. Have you heard of Aikido or Judo? Never heard of cult dynamics in a ping pong club. You never know, bro. I think that we partly create this monsters. In my first club a couple years ago, we had a decent guy who was a brown belt in his early 30s. The black belt and owner had to move to another city and let the brown belt run the things and run the classes, basically. After some time, our new people, especially college and early 20s, started to come to him with their non-jiu-jitsu problems. Within a year, he became a self-proclaimed physician, philosopher, life coach, and a finance guru. Sounds like a lot of people we know. Told a guy that his lactose intolerance is a mental attitude thing. In real life, he didn't even have a college degree. People saw him as that wise hermit, and he started to believe them at some point. There's an armada of bullshito coaches out there, except that jiu-jitsu actually works to some degree. Still, we develop the same dynamics like people around Wing Chun masters of this world. Gracies try to profit from it, therefore they have this cult around Helio, but let's not play around. BJJ coaches know BJJ, and they are humans like you and me and have their own problems. Their authority and often competence ends outside of the gym, and that's okay. At the end of the day, it's a business, job, or hobby. GSP says, especially GSP, I appreciate GSP more as I get older. That Diaz beatdown made me salty, though sadly that was expected. Did he fight Diaz? I don't even remember. GSP ain't fought since 2017, guys. That was almost 10 years ago. 8 years ago. Got myself a little gummy. A little Chocolicious. It's terrible for you, though. Terrible ingredients. It says, yeah, I have to deal with this quite a bit with my mid-40s. I don't want to read this anymore. We watched this earlier, but you can watch it again.
Finish that.
Isaac, bro. Isaac. I don't know what Isaac was thinking. Isaac, you old, bro. You 33 years old, bro. That arm can't take that damage. And said the crazy part is he didn't even tap after it broke. He screamed, that's a tap. It's reckless, man. If it goes pop, the doctor and referee won't allow the match to continue anyways. Now he can't train properly for 2 months and might have a lifelong issue with the arm. The thing with Isaac, he's like 33. He got 2 kids. He got a wife at home. And he just started a new gym. And he just broke his arm. So, I mean, what was he thinking? Legendary performances have been made from not tapping. Not when you're 33. I think it makes the sport worse. And if you're trying to feed your family, having your elbow explode probably isn't a good idea. He says, if you're trying to feed your family, BJJ isn't a good idea. Well, Isaac, he can make a living from BJJ. He make good money. Says maybe you get some free rash guards if you get sponsored. He make money though. Your average Joe Schmo, jiu-jitsu ain't making the kind of money Isaac gets, or the kind of money Mikey gets. Maybe a hot take, but that shouldn't be. I mean, Gary Tonin not tapping the Kron's arm bar was legendary, sure, but his arm wasn't obviously broken either. I'm talking about Hodger Jacare situation. So we talked about Hodger before. He broke Jacare's arm, but Jacare still won the match. But even Jacare was like, man, I should have tapped out because he didn't make any money. And IBJF didn't take care of him at all. Says Sam Nagai cranked. I'm not sure which arm. Sam Nagai did get him in the tight arm bar, but his arm didn't break. Which makes you wonder, how was this dude able to break Isaac's arm when Samuel Nagai couldn't break the arm? So, again, we don't know what these people are on, bro. Francisco Lowe just got hit. He was 24, 25. He taking all this crap. So some of these guys are enhanced. You love watching these enhanced guys go at it, but then they break people. I'm over there. I got to fight these super soldiers, bro. They trying to break me. I can't move these people. They grab me, can't break their grip, can't move them. They can basically kill you. They got weapons in their blood system. The vitamins they take in make them a weapon, guys. Quan says he was trying to prove how violent BJJ could be. He's Mikey Musumeci's best friend. I mean, shoot, that's not how you show how violent jiu-jitsu is. You got to break the other dude's arm. Don't let the dude break your arm. Jason says, I'm trying to give Mikey a chance after chance, but when he's speaking Portuguese to his students, to his athletes that speak English, it's just too much. Well, he's cringy. I like Mikey, but he's cringy, bro. He should not be the star of the show. He should not be the main character of the show. You know, they messed up. They messed up everything. They had some good fights, but they messed up everything. You know, some dudes might be, you know, disabled. That arm might be messed up. You don't know what kind of complications might come from having your arm broken like that. I knew a guy, he broke his arm doing a judo tournament. Shout out to judo. The freaking arm, he broke his arm. The bone cut some arteries. He had to have emergency surgery. He almost lost his arm competing in judo. So, you know, this stuff not a game. Quan said taking one for the team. Screw the team. He got kids at home. Quan, you got a kid and dogs at home too. You ain't gonna take no risk like that. Isaac should have kept his butt at home. He should have done world championship. He would have been that UFC didn't help him at all. How did the UFC help Isaac's career? It didn't. Hasn't Dodoline been world champion in the gi before? I feel like the semifinals of a reality TV show don't really compare to that career-wise. Probably more prize money though. Maybe not. There's also a difference between eating an injury and winning, and being just as out with an injury. A tough call to make in the moment, but from the outside, it was pretty obvious that the breaking mechanics were there and good. Says, yeah, man, I get it, but even though these guys are the very top, there's still levels to the game. The few people we've seen suffer through a real hard break without making a face and come back to choke the guy out with a broken arm, that's never going to happen. Even from the top 1%, we get what we see here 99% of the time. Dude fights through it, gets arm snapped in half, freaks out, and doesn't continue. Isaac would literally make more money just opening a gym. Well, he is opening a gym. He should have been at home worrying about his gym. He has a gym he just opened, Varsity Jiu-Jitsu. He's got kids. He's got a wife. He had stuff to do. Why did he do this show? He let Mikey get in his ear, and it was a terrible. Well, sometimes you got to take risks, but if you're a dad, you got kids at home, you starting a new business, should you go off and do this crazy show? No. You got to have people talk to you, man. It says, should have tapped on this one. If you're in the finals of a competition and you're already winning on the scoreboard and in a position to ride it out, then sure, go for it. That wasn't even the finals. He should have tapped out. If it was the finals, they're going to give you even a 6-figure contract. I don't want to break my arm for no 6 figures. That got to be $900,000, $999,999. Even then, man, that is not good, bro. Let's see. I've been in this situation before. Finals of the Nationals, fully locked in armbar, and the guy not only wouldn't tap, but was sneakily tapping enough that the ref couldn't see it, hoping I'd let go. In the end, I cranked it a bit more, still nothing, then a bit more, still nothing, and in the end, his arm just went. Well, he had enough warning, for sure. He had enough warning to let go of that thing. No idea publicly. Is there a big chance to make it? What's the cash prize? No idea. Publicity is definitely nice, though. Sponsorships, etc. He already has that stuff. He already got sponsorships and already won worlds and already was making a lot of money. Well, maybe not with the school being open, just opening, but I'm sure there's some money going on behind the scenes, but aren't offering $1 million like CGI. They don't want to come out and say $50K when CGI gave $1 million. I don't know what he was thinking. The opponent had his arm fully extended, and because he showed mercy, he decided to try and escape. He had 2 times to tap before he tried to stack and escape. Sounded like the guy who broke his arm was screaming. Isaac walked away quiet, and the other guy was smacking the mat and swearing in Portuguese. These guys are just built different. I would have tapped so fast. That's a very true reaction from Carlos. Carlos is one of the nicest and caring Brazilians I've trained with. Was one of the first to come from Dream Art Sao Paulo to help open Dream Art Houston. What happened with that? These guys have so much to fight for, but he's always tried to take care of his training partners. Says you can clearly tell that break affected him. He clearly didn't want it to break like that. Because that's karma, bro. You break someone's arm, somebody else break your arm. That's how it goes. You saw in the footage with Austin, he was visibly still upset. He's such a genuine person. Isaac should have tapped out. I've been friends with that family since Austin and I were purple belts. I'm so happy for him and Cammie, his wife. Isaac seems to be on a seminar tour, so the elbow is probably usable. This because it was months ago, a couple months ago. June, July, August. He probably broke that in March or something. Or no, May or June. He probably broke that arm in May. So Isaac seems to be on a seminar tour, so the elbow is probably usable. We don't know. But this is definitely why he pulled out of Worlds this year. It was interesting to see one of the few American gi champions switch to no-gi. Dislocation, despite how it looked, 4 weeks into a 6-week diagnosis to get back into hard training. This is the violence that Mikey was talking about. Isaac also previously said that this is also the first time he's done any no-gi since he was like 8 years old. Yeah, so, I think you're going to see more of the gi guys going into no-gi, which is kind of already been happening. Talking about Francisco Lowe earlier, we got him over here on the Reddit. Let's see what Reddit got to say. It says it was an announced test, so you not only failed the test, but you failed the IQ test. Well, they don't test everybody, so injecting contaminated vitamins can happen. Everybody forgets to say that only contaminated supplements are illegal PEDs with a smaller detection window, or the tests get improved with time. Listen, that mass spectrometer going to find everything. It's going to find what you ate for breakfast 10 years ago. So, eventually, I mean, I don't know, man. I just say be clean, guys. Be clean out here. You know, you guys don't need that TRT. You don't need that bull crap, bro. Just eat healthy. I mean, I'm eating some Shakalicious gummies right now. Not sponsored, but I eat healthy most of the time, majority of the time. Oh, I need to log my weight. I think I was 181 today. A little fat, but, you know, I'm trying to get down again. Says it's not really an IQ test. If you're competing as a professional athlete, you should get any. He definitely got caught with some stuff, guys. It wasn't no supplement. No supplements got him, bro. That was some real stuff. Quan says can't blame him when casuals like me let their limbs snap during open mats. Well, Quan, you too old to let your limbs snap, bro. You too old. You need to tap out, Quan. Says if you're a professional athlete, you should get any supplements tested to ensure that they are what you think they are, or just go to USADA. USADA has supplement lists. They tell you what supplements you can take. Says the rate testing improves as it's actually quite slow. For example, they use IRMS here, which has been around for ages, and testing organizations like USADA generally don't retest B samples without charging the client organization significantly more. Given 1 and 2, this was an announced test as opposed to random out of competition testing. He really just failed an IQ test. I wouldn't trust that guy's advice. There's 2 others who pop. Matter of time before we know. Oh, who else? Who else? Not these gummies. These gummies, they got nothing but bull crap in them. The ingredients list: sugar, corn syrup, modified cornstarch, contains 2% or less of citric acid, natural artificial flavor, sodium citrate, mineral oil, artificial coloring, red 40. There we go. A little bit of cancer in there. Blue 1, yellow 6, yellow 5. In carnauba wax. That ain't healthy. The thing is, you go to other countries, they got healthy stuff in their candy. So they're saying to some other people, hey, maybe middleweight. Can they get somebody for middleweight? And bro, imagine I got a pan title because somebody tested positive at pans. I'll be celebrating. Whee! I don't care if it's bronze or whatever. This is, I thought I panic tapped at a tournament, but turns out it was legit. My arm was starting to have a pretty sharp pain shooting through when I used it. Had to adjust training because of it. Yeah. And imagine that arm, you got your arm dislocated. That would suck. It says any prohibited substances in those gummies, check USADA. I hope so. I'm suing Shaq. If they got me, I'm suing Shaq. If I got hit with USADA because of Shaq gummies, bro, I got this for verification though. June 25th, 2025, I had some Shaq gummies. It was in there, USADA. I'm suing Shaq. I hope I test positive. I'm suing Shaq real fast. I like Shaq though, but I sue him. I got a picture with him somewhere. Says I'll be a wuss and tap every time. I try not to. I don't panic tap. Well, one time I almost did, but usually I kind of sit in, see what's going on. But if I recognize the position, okay, I'm screwed. I can't get out. I probably need to tap out. But if I'm like, all right, I think I can get out of this, I'm gonna try to get out. Isaac, he didn't do the right thing to get out though. It says time to subscribe to AOJ Acai Masterclass. I'm hoping AOJ get caught. I'm hoping Atos and AOJ get caught. That's all my main competitors. Woo! Take them all out. Get all these guys out of here. Take all those dudes out. I'm a big fan of all of those guys, but take them out. It's okay to be a fan, but it's not cool when you got to fight these dudes and like you're like, bro, this is a chimpanzee out here. How am I supposed to? What kind of jiu-jitsu? Well, jiu-jitsu don't work on chimpanzees, and it's not working on these other dudes out here. Does anyone remember when all those IBJJF no-gi finalists suddenly had to catch a flight and leave before finals when they realized USADA was in-house? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, that's where Wagner and Cyborg got hit. I mean, surprise, surprise. Test more, ban more. Stop the normalization of PEDs in jiu-jitsu. Same no-gi worlds wherein Wagner refused to give USADA a sample and then said he was on TRT because he's old. He's now dealing with heart failure, which could be unrelated. Come on. But most likely is related to anabolic steroids he's been on for years. In case anyone else had to Google the supplements he popped for an oral turinabol in DECA. Oh. Is he a bodybuilder? Not necessarily DECA, but more likely a derivative, probably. Another one's in the UFC BJJ finals. Who? Uh-oh. Who in that UFC BJJ finals? Oh, Harrison? You think they got Harrison? If they got Harrison, bro, you know I'm gonna do a live stream on that. If they hit Harrison, if USADA hit Harrison, I'll do a 4-hour stream on that. Bro, this content makes itself, guys. I just wake up, I'd be like, who screwed up today? What did Craig Jones say? What did Gordon say? What did Mikey do? Who else messed up? Who popped hot? What they doing in wrestling? I got an easy job. I mean, it's hard talking all the time, but it's fun though. It's fun. Uh-oh, somebody in UFC BJJ? Who got hit over there, guys? You know I'm going to be doing the video on that. Maybe Wagner had too many Shaq gummies. I mean, Shaq gummies don't make your head expand, do they? I had too many of these. My head going to be too big. My head not going to fit in the camera no more. Says the transition to ADCC begins now. So whenever you see a gi guy go into no gi, you're like, did you pop hot, bro? Isaac? No. Saw this dude walking around no-gi worlds last year and couldn't believe he was a pro athlete, likely due to the weight cut and all the training in the lead up. The man looked skinny and weak. Dude needed the acai. If you need acai at age 24, you're soft. So I'll keep you guys updated. You know I'm going to jump on that story. I'm the #1 news story in jiu-jitsu. Actually got that Alex girl. She do a good job. I respect her work. Where are the supplements at, bro? Come on. It's not going down when I click on it. Is this it? Nutrition guide? What is it? There's somewhere where they tell you the you can check your medications. Can you check your supplements too? Ooh. What is jiu-jitsu considered? Wrestling? We might not be on here. Oh, PFL, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where B? Da 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 da. We're not on the list. We're not a real sport. I say wrestling. You guys see that? That's me right there. I'm about to jump on that hotline in a little bit, guys. Don't worry. I'm about to put some tips on. I'm about to put some tips out there. Let's see. Supplement Connect. Oh, wait a second. So you can check your supplements, I guess. They got people. Well, you get caught, you're gonna sue. That's what I would do. Yeah, you need to do your research. I mean, you know what's prohibited, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Some ingredients, it says you will not incur an anti-doping violation for these ingredients. So yeah, if you're taking some supplements, you need to check what you're taking, bro. I'm gonna jump on that USADA hotline though for sure. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that off the show though. We got Aiga. I guess that's how you say it. It says the finals. Do you know Do you guys know what the deal is with this? Is it just me, or does it seem strange that it seems to be flying under the radar this weekend, despite $1 million prize, free YouTube broadcast, and what seems like the most stacked teams I've ever seen in BJJ, just to name a few? Bad marketing. Almost. Actually, UFC BJJ did a better job than this stuff did. So you got the Williams team: Bodoni, Dante, Big Dan, Luke Griffith, Taza, Gabriel Souza. Alione team: you got Quinta, Barch, Cicernos, Corby, Grippo, Wojcik, Bones. Not sure where Chin and Owen Jones went. Acai Republic, you got Mika. Well, they probably just CJI now. Acai Republic got Mika Kennedy, Hulk, Jonatas. Euro Trash, you got Egan, Ash, Mateus Szynski, Jed Hugh. Kansai, you got Tackets, you got Dorian, Kynan, Roberto, Pato, Fabricio. That's a good team. Plus a lot of Dagestanis that are way underrated. Says, no one will ever be able to convince me AIGA isn't a money laundering scheme. Well, you figured it out. Congrats. This is what I'm wondering. It's really weird given how big it is, but something seems off. Like, why did it go from Flow to YouTube? Just like ACB before it. ACB was definitely a front for the Chechenian guys or whoever. Russian guys. I did one of those tournaments. It was sketchy. The rule set was sketchy. So which is happening again? Talasan just competed in ACB and is stuck in the Middle East. Oh, what happened to Talasan? They got him. Somebody go rescue Talasan. Wasn't he in Australia for a minute? Didn't realize that was still going on, huh? The early ACBs at least seemed to be funded by Razman Kadyrov, who is an all-time bad dude. I knew some of the competitors in the event was mega sketchy to the point where they were getting paid at 2 a.m. by giant thugs with a trash bag full of US $100 bills. So, yeah, what could possibly go wrong? I'll be covering it. I don't know what happened, but they aren't on Flow anymore. Flow was hyping it up, and there was some momentum around it, and then it just went dark for about 6 months. I randomly looked up and saw the championship is this weekend. The lineup is amazing. I don't know, man. Bad marketing. I mean, it ain't my problem. If they paid me, I would market it, but I don't get paid by these dudes. Why I'm going to market their show, and they ain't paying me? We got Muzamechi versus Gabriel. Who takes the win? I think everybody's going for Mikey. Harrison. There's a higher chance for folks here to look up with Sydney Sweeney than Mikey taking the L. Yeah, Mikey. I think the rule said everything's geared towards him. Mikey pulls guard first, gets into a leg entanglement, and a sub win 1 minute. Or double guard pull, Mikey gets inside position and then gets a sub. So same thing. Mikey needs to change his style up a little bit because he's been using the same style for 10 years. It works. It works too well. Unfortunately, really, he's so good everywhere, but he just spams legs. Sometimes transitions to the back and sometimes comes up to pass at the end. I want Mikey to sweep and pass in a match for once. He did it one time against Zhao Miao. I mean, Harrison never did Nogi. How are you going to defend leg locks, bro? He cooked, bro. Mikey wins pretty easily. Harrison is said to have good outside passing, which in some sense could be considered among a weakness of Mikey, as his most recent loss followed a north-south pass. Mikey said he was sick that day, but, you know. Muzamechi over... says the BJJ gods smile upon Mikey. He usually gets matched up with guys who have a very slim chance of winning. I mean, that's what Daddy Dana set that up. What are you talking about? There's always a chance, but Harrison is a random Pan Am champion, a title that random guys win every year. Still impressive, though, not taking anything from him. Really makes me question why they've gone for Mikey to front the show when his division is generally so shallow. And they've had to get someone no one has ever heard of before to feed him. He's gone from one where he was fed people no one has heard of before, and people passed it to the UFC where and then pass it to the UFC, where his next match is someone no one knows or heard of, and after that will likely be Gio Martinez, who's almost 40. I love Mikey. He's incredible, but he does get handled a lot of easy matches. I mean, he wins. He basically beats everybody, but he gets a lot of easy matches. It's hard to get matches at his weight class. And, you know, we don't see the matches we want to see. We don't get Pato versus, or Mikey versus Pato, or Mikey versus, Baby Shark, or any of those guys, really. Mikey versus Mayram. Mikey, I don't know. I'm not knocking him, and I would love to be in his position if I was at his level. He's handling his BJJ career better than anyone else out there. Yeah, but he's kind of wasting time. So we'll see. I'll cover the results later after the fact. It's a pretty interesting post. I'm gonna close this stuff out. It says, why do so many 3 to 5 year experienced jiu-jitsu competitors make it to the world level? That's usually like a purple belt level. I'm gonna say that people at that point, you know, they have good foundation, good techniques, but also, you know, the body's, usually you're younger, your body's still good, you're in your peak, and also, you know, you're flexible, less injured, and I think you're just more reckless. You're going to go for it more. You're going to do more crazy stuff. Mikey versus Pato would be amazing. I know, but we're never going to get it because, I don't know, Mikey's ducking him or some shit. It says, I can wrap my head around a 24-year-old athletic phenom with 3 years of nonstop jiu-jitsu training beating a 40-year-old semi-athletic man with 20 years of jiu-jitsu, because Father Time beats everyone eventually. But what I'm more surprised with is 24-year-old phenoms with 4 years of experience beating 24-year-old phenoms with 14 years of experience. Does that happen? Not really. There seems to be this weird tendency to see guys who dedicate their prime to jiu-jitsu just taking off within a few years and dominating, passing guys of equal age. Well, the more time you train, the more injured you are, more burnt out you are. Passing guys of equal age with more experience. Why do you guys think this is? Is it due to the typical wrestling background? Maybe the ability to maintain that level of aggression and drive for shorter periods of time, whereas it would be more difficult to train with that level of dedication and drive. Well, you know, if you've been training for a long time, you're going to have less improvement. But, you know, in that 3 to 5 year, if you train for 3 to 5 years, you're going to see arguably the most improvement. You know, it's hard. Once you get really good, it's hard to get better. You got to do a lot to get better. I forget what that's called. It's one of those curves, like the skill acquisition curve, you know. So when you start, it's easy. You see improvement, and then as you've been training a long time, it's like just to get a little bit better, you gotta do so much work. It's like impossible. And in injuries and mindset, you know, is it simply 3 years is all you need to develop a complete A game, whereas a decade might just be filled with a lot of positions you won't pursue or see at the highest levels? Maybe it's just guys who start training full time in their prime tend to do it at gyms with world level guys already, so they get accustomed to that level of skill and familiar with what the best in the world feel like. Someone says, truth of the matter is that 4 years of dedicated practice gets you pretty scary, and if you control the game aspect through grip fighting, resets, match discipline, you can narrow the game to a place where you are more familiar, add on some tape study, and you have some time to. Professional athletes of all combat sports have mastery in a few techniques. It's how they string the techniques together that make them good. You can't be good at everything. Secondly, progress isn't linear. You can go years without making much progress, and you can go months with making crazy progress. It all depends on the coach. After 10 years in the sport, honestly, the guys who have been in it for 3 to 4 years are really dangerous. The difference between 0 to 4 is massive, but the difference between 4 and 8 isn't nearly the same. And that's especially true when you don't have a dedicated coaching. Think about it like chess. You can play chess every day for 8 years and be trash, like me. I'm trash too, though. But some prodigy with 4 years who just gets it will totally smash, and you wouldn't really think too much about it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely experienced that. I think when I was about purple belt, around like, honestly, I think like, about 4 years in, that's when I started like seeing a lot of, bro, I was just killing it. Around 4 years in, I think, because you're always thinking about jiu-jitsu in that time period. You're training hard. You're doing so much. I think it's just willpower. You want to get better. You really you just want to improve. And you've probably seen improvement from 0 to 4 years in. You're gonna see a lot of improvements. You get used to the improvement. You expect the improvement. But after you've been training for a decade, it's like you really have to study. You have to eat healthier. As I'm got gummies over here. You got to eat healthier. You're worried about more injuries, not getting hurt. You're trying to stay motivated. 0 to 4, it's easy to stay training. Train twice a day, easy. You push hard, easy. After a decade, you're trying to find reasons to train. You're trying to keep it fun. You're trying to not injure other people. You've been training 0 to 4 years. You don't care if you hurt people. So I think you just, I don't know, your body adapts to it, In that 0 to 4, your body's trying to get used to the training, so you're always amped up. But after a while, your body gets used to it. You gotta push even harder to see the same kind of growth. You're probably never gonna see the same kind of growth. Meowington says, I feel like this is a handful of super talented people. For every one purple belt prodigy, there's 100 other dudes trying to get and getting nowhere in comps. Yeah, so purple belt's usually that 4 or 5 years in. That's when you see massive growth. And the purple belts could give the black belts a hard time. The purple belts could win some matches at black belt. Also life. The longer you train, the more life you got to deal with. Injuries, wife and kids, businesses, you're thinking about money, health insurance, etc., buying a house, cars, Usually, I'm saying, say you started at 20, like they said, 20, 24, you ain't got nothing to do. You might be in college, you might be working a little part-time job or something, but you got nothing but time and energy. But as you get older, or if say you've been training for a long time, you definitely going to deal with burnout and injuries, and again, life going to get in the way. You can be obsessive 20 to 24. You could be really obsessive, but it's not very healthy, and nobody really maintains that. So I don't think it's a mind state or a physical state that people are meant to stay in really. Let's see. Someone said something, but I don't read that. Says this: I improved immensely when I locked in with a buddy who's roughly my size. We'd give each other homework on the same instructionals and meet up and drill a lot of it. We then started hitting it on everything in regular classes. I also see people not developing at all for years at a time because they keep doing the same stuff over and over. And sometimes you don't improve. Like, your physicality is not going to improve really at a certain point. And then, your technique can always improve, but your physicality is going to top out. Also, it's not like these guys are coming from the couch into the sport. Most of them have some sort of elite wrestling. No, you don't need any wrestling. You can just come off the couch and be good. Grappling is grappling. You can call Nicky Rod the blue belt that won ADCC with only 1 year of training, but that hides the fact that he was 117-11 in wrestling in Jersey and had been on the mat since he was in 6th grade. I think the biggest difference between someone like Nicky Rod and Nolf is that Nolf is in an active and talented weight class. Historically, when Nicky Rod won that ADCC trial, he was fighting some fat dudes, some out of shape fat dudes. It says historically, heavyweights aren't known for having the most technical matches at ADCC, so that's how someone like Nicky Rod can come in and clean house with some cardio and aggression. It says people keep. I don't want to read that. The talent pool ain't the same at that weight class, bro. Come on. Muhammad Ali say he beat Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali never did no-gi. Cyborg was old. Orlando was fat and had a heart attack before. So yeah, you know, you can, anybody can get good in that 4 years, at least in jiu-jitsu. We got another video. I'm not gonna watch this, but you guys can go watch it. It says only one of them is a real black belt. So it's one of your guys, one of the guys you guys follow on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name though. He does a really good YouTube channel, so I saw that video is popping. He says, happy to see people enjoying the video. 27 minutes, it's a big ask. If it's good, they'll watch it. So, you know, this is kind of the content some people are really like in jiu-jitsu. You know me, I'm more traditional. I'm always going to stick to more education. Less entertainment, more education from me. That's just how I'm going to be. You know, I started off my YouTube doing like, I think car videos, talking about different topics. And then I started doing instructionals. And then, you know, I'm still doing stuff like that. So, Jordan, yeah, there's his name. Thank you. I don't know the guy's name. Yeah, Jordan Jiu-Jitsu. Jordan does Jiu-Jitsu, something like that. So some of you guys like that. That's entertainment. I say go for it. Don't really like the guy. Oh, why are you bringing his name up then? Some of you guys like the guy. I think that's really good for entertainment. You know, new people starting jiu-jitsu is going to be entertaining. People that don't do jiu-jitsu, you got to realize a lot of people that don't do jiu-jitsu watch videos like this and videos like that. So it's entertainment. For me, I'm always got to educate. I got to educate you guys. I'll throw a little bit of entertainment. I'll make some jokes, yada, yada, yada. But we got to educate you guys. Yeah, UFC BJJ tonight. Yep. We'll see if Tackett takes it. You know, we'll see. Andy Varela, I never say his last name right. But he tough too. Whoever is better that day today will win it. Tackett probably got better submissions though. He been submitting people left and right. But yeah, like I said, I'm not hating on the entertainment YouTubers. You know, there's been a little debate between the YouTubers and the professional grapplers. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm still grappling in adult divisions, and you know, I do my little YouTube thing. But you gotta do a little bit of both. I prefer to see the high level guys, their content over the YouTuber guy content. I'm sorry. If I gotta choose, I'm gonna watch the high level ADCC vet, ADCC champion over the YouTuber dude. You guys can say the same thing for me. I did do ADCC though. He did. Oh, never mind. I've done Who's Number One and ADCC, so I can talk a little bit. But yeah, I usually go towards the John Thomases, the people that I know that had the skill. I'm not saying he not skilled. I'm sure he got some skills and. But I'm going to go towards the people I know that, I can look up their BJJ heroes. I can see, oh, he did this. Oh, he fought that dude. He beat that guy. If you guys watch my main channel, we usually go based off competition footage. I'm always going to, that's the truest test. You can't lie in that competition footage, right? You can roll some scrubs in the gym, but if you do an adult black belt, gi or no gi, you find some tough dudes. So I'm always gonna try to stick to those dudes. But this content, it's got a space too. Someone says, to be honest, I skipped the questions and went right for the rolling. It was a good, really cool concept. You probably enjoy my guess my belt challenge. This is kind of, if you follow YouTube, this is kind of a formula. They do formulas like this, I respect it. I've tried some similar content like that too. I prefer educational. If you're on YouTube, I want you to be educated. I want you to learn some stuff. Maybe like 5% entertainment. It says, you probably, I felt very bad for you during that one. It was quite the emotional ordeal. I feel vindicated for knowing so many old school references, but I don't know a thing about scoring. I would fail the side control question. I was expecting to skim more than I did. For the YouTube question, I'm glad someone mentioned Kesting. I was also thinking Jason Scully, and I also remember being told YouTube was all garbage and technique. Yeah, some of it still is. It's a pretty solid move, sharing the money with everyone. Black belt move. A real black belt move would be to don't do that. As soon as I saw how lazy that one guy pulled half guard, I knew he was a black belt. Yeah. John Paul Digital says Flow Grappling does an amazing job with documentary embedded style content. Yeah, they don't do that as much anymore. They will do a one-off one. I hope so. They got full-time people, bro. Don't talk about Flow Grappling's documentaries on my channel, please. It's dope when you do the voiceover. Well, I do instructionals too, bro. Yeah, don't promote Flow Grappling. I do like Flow Grappling, but yeah, don't promote their documentaries over mine. They got a team of people. I'm a one dude. I'm one dude over here. They got people working full time over there with salaries. I don't got no salary over here. They got audio guys. They got video people. I'm the audio guy. I don't do the video. I get someone. I just ask somebody. I ask people. I randomly get people to video. Hey, yo, bro, can you video me? It's all good. I'm giving you a hard time, bro. They do some really good stuff. We checked out the Eddie Bravo one. That was really good. It was like a 3-part series too. There's some good ones on there. That's the last one I remember watching is the Eddie Bravo one. They done the Rotulos. They did who else did they do? They do some one-off ones. I think they did Tynan. Maybe that might have been IBJF. Nah, it's all good, but it's all good, man. Don't glaze me. My head's already too big. IBJF has stepped up their game too. IBJJF has stepped up a lot. They've been doing some more. I mean, it took them forever. It took them forever to get their stuff rolling. Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time, man. No, it's all good. You ain't got to glaze me, bro. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's move on from this too. This isn't good. Bad news over here. Bad news. It says Ben Askren's insurance company isn't paying for the transplant. So I don't know what to say, man. This is, we looked at the figures for the surgery, could be $500,000 to $1 million, depending on, one or two lungs. I don't know if you just need one lung or two lungs. It could be $1 million. So, we did the UFC episode yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So while Ben Askren needs a lung, maybe one or two lung transplants, Daddy Dana, he over there wasting $2.8 million on a yacht for a week. So that's kind of the state of the world we're living in. Rudis is selling a shirt for $50 and 100% goes to the medical fees. We did click on this before, but can we open it up again? I do need to purchase. I think I'm going to do that. Did it go out of the way? Okay. So they're doing a shirt and all the proceeds go to Ben Askren. So you can also donate money to them or buy the shirt. Otherwise, he needs to get that lung transplant. And it's a big deal. They also have a fund that you can donate to as well. One poster says, "My mother's deductible on a potential lung transplant. She did not receive it since she died. Sorry, bro. Was $500,000, and that was 20 years ago. Insurance companies are designed to say no, so you must have an advocate who knows what to do, how to navigate it. That's crazy. You need an advocate for insurance that you pay for. But this is the state of America. If you were in some other countries, they would cover that for super low fee. You might pay $50 for the whole surgery." You come to America, you need $500,000. Going to bankrupt your whole bloodline. So I don't want to get into the whole health insurance debacle over here, but it's pretty bad here in America. That's why I told Rosinski to go back to Denmark or Poland. But you know what? Rosinski can always go back to Poland and get some surgery over there. Brazilians can always go back to Brazil, get their surgery over there, and then come back. I think they got universal healthcare over there too in Brazil. So you need an advocate how to navigate it, and that knows how to navigate it, and to press the insurance companies to pay if it should be covered. A lung transplant is so brutal. There's the list you must get on. The approval to be on the list from an executive physician and or board. Approval of the lungs if they become available based on current health status, size of lungs, etc. It will be a constant teeter to the hospital and non-rejection medications. So even if everything does work out for Ben Askren, his health it's never going to be the same. He won't be able to be on the wrestling mat because he's going to be immunocompromised. He's already on the list and apparently high on the list due to his age, health, and current condition. According to Bader, they've already turned down a set of lungs and are looking for the best possible set. That's insane that you need to get new lungs. I can't even fathom that. I mean, the surgery is not easy. This is like one of the more dangerous surgeries, guys. So if everything goes well, it's still the results aren't good. It says having an insurance company mostly gives you the right to sue your insurance company. How many CEOs have been taken out before things change? Just a thought. More. Have to appeal. $50K is nothing when it comes to healthcare, as in insurance payouts. My sister got a nasty type of cancer and her meds were $30K per month, denied by insurance. Her doctor was one of the best in the country and he was pissed. You know, the doctors, they're very altruistic. You know, they get into the job maybe to make a little bit of money, but they like helping people. So these insurance companies really, not just the doctors, the nurses and the staff, you know, they take advantage of the whole system. So I don't really understand why we have the insurance companies. You know, I mean, obviously they make a lot of money. That's probably why they make someone a lot of money. They just screw over the whole country. That's all. It says after he yelled at those insurance people for an hour, it got pushed through. It delayed her treatment for a month and could have cost her life. So sometimes you can't even afford the life-saving medication. So that's pretty bad. American health insurance companies are garbage. Yeah, why can't we reform that? Deeply evil healthcare system. So it's pretty bad. Sounds like he might be able to get a new set of lungs. They're looking for the right set of lungs. You know, everybody's lungs are different sizes, so you got to get the right size. So again, if you want to donate to Ben Askren, go ahead. Someone brought up Dana White. Says Dana White has an opportunity to take care of this for him financially, and he won't. So I brought up Dana White earlier because he wasted $2.8 million for a week on a yacht, when that $2.8 million could be life-saving to someone like Ben Askren. And in fact, Ben Askren, he didn't make no $1 million at the UFC. He didn't make $1 million at one championship. So whenever you guys are defending UFC and Dana White, I see stuff like this. I see people dying because, you know, they chose to fight in UFC and, you know, never were properly compensated. While Dana White, he has a net worth of $500 million. I never seen him fight. I never seen him take a punch. I want to see him take a punch. I pay some money. I pay some money to punch Dana White. Says, why would he? Publicity, good dude, credit. Nah, evil though. Says Ben was paid pretty well, wasn't he? Nope. Should he pay for everyone's healthcare forever if they fought 3 times in the UFC? Well, Ben Askren is not just nobody. UFC does not pay the fighters that much compared to other lucrative sports. Bingo. I wouldn't be surprised if Dana White made a very generous contribution to the Askrens, but suggesting he paid for it because Ben had 3 UFC fights is ludicrous. No obligation, I said. I mean, he is obligated. He probably, Ben Askren probably made the UFC $2.8 million. All the fighters, all the money Dana White has made is from the fighters fighting. I ain't seen Dana. Well, back in the early days, he did some work, but what is he doing now? He's just wasting. Yeah. So I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's see. We got a little bit of time. It's actually 2 hours in. Let's see if there's anything on YouTube real fast. Otherwise, I'm gonna jump off of here and get some lunch. I don't know if there's anything. Rosinski got a new video. Let's see what Rosinski got for us, and that'll be it for today.
What's up, everybody? I'm going to show you today a sweep that was a key factor for this year Worlds, for my victory for this year Worlds. I called that one lazy butterfly guard, sweep, hook sweep, and for a little bit, for a little time I had a problem with hitting it. I mean, people knew I'm trying to get that variations, and they were like really good in defending and working against that position. But finally, I reconnected with my lazy butterfly guard, and I was able to hit it 3 times during this Worlds run. So check it out. So I call it lazy because usually classic butterfly guard goes like this, right? Seated position, maybe I'm gonna grab the belt over the back, maybe I'm gonna have the underhook, but in general, seated position. But I like to play my butterfly guard being with my upper body on the ground. That's why I call it a lazy butterfly guard, because we're more like laying and relaxing, right? And here, my legs are exactly in the same position as I would have them in a classic butterfly guard. That means that one leg is
Danny Choppa says, yeah, Dana White can give money. Sorry, Rosinski. We'll come back to you, bro.
What's up, everybody? I'm going to show you today a sweep that will...
I mean, Dana White, that's his pocket money.
$1,000 or mystery gifts? $1,000?
The British man attempting to walk around the...
Dana White, can he be gifting money? Oh, there you go. Is that it?
What the fuck?
You get more.
No. Holy shit. Holy fuck.
So, I mean, Dana White, his pocket money is $250. That's his pocket money. Those gummies slowing you down? Nah, bro, they're giving me energy, bro. Dana White he be wasting $250 at the casino. He probably spent 2.8 in that month just on casinos. So, and probably some other stuff he shouldn't be doing. I mean, I'm not. Dana White's evil to me. He not gonna donate no money to Ben Askren. The people on Reddit make it seem like Ben Askren's some random dude, but he's like one of the best wrestling coaches, in America for the kids, youth coaches. He fought for UFC, had really great matches. It's just crazy, it's just how this country is, it's pretty, the people like Dana White, $500 million net worth, he can do whatever he wants. And then guys like Ben Askren, who donates a lot of time to kids, loves wrestling and, been nothing but a, advocate for the sport of MMA, they don't take care of him. They're not going to take care of him.
The first time I met Dana White, I'll never forget this. I was down $800,000. I'm sitting there with him. And when I tell you, I didn't put any money in. This guy brings me from $800,000 in debt up to like $50K. And we were there battling for 5 hours
so
straight.
He put his own, he saved,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, he basically gave me $850,000. The first time I met Dana White,
he ain't gonna give that to Ben Askren for a new lung. He ain't gonna get that. He gotta spend that money gambling, guys, and on some of the world's oldest profession and some powder. He spent, how much money you think he spent on all that stuff? Casinos, the world's oldest profession, and powder? He probably spent $30 million this year. Life's not fair, man. Life ain't fair. It's just sad. Good people suffer, and evil people. Yeah.
Important part is to keep this knee always open, all right? So the knee never goes here in front of his chest. Even during scrambles, during actions, whenever my opponent is working against my position, I never allow myself to bring that knee in front of his chest inside, because then he can smash the position and create some scrambles, put some stress on me. All right, so this knee goes always outside. Now, another important control here is my frame. So I'm gonna grab the collar, not like this, like too deep, like I would like to get the cross choke. This one goes a little bit lower on the level of a collarbone, so I can push and pull easily. So I can push with my stiff arm, I can perform a collar drag if I need to. But the most important part is this keeps his posture a little bit lower than he would like to be. So he can never posture up fully up, right? To do that, he would have to break that grip, obviously. But yeah, we won't allow that in like ideal situation.
Speed up Brzezinski a little bit. English is second language, guys.
Gonna be light because my opponent, for example, will be fighting with my grip and he will try to like pummel. I'm gonna use it against him. I'm gonna push the arm in. Now, when I pull or push, I want to use that top leg to load him up. So I bring the knee to my chest. I load him on a stiff hook. And now here, I want to maintain this angle here, 90 degrees angle in my leg. So I'm gonna start elevating with the bottom leg. I need 3 points of base: toes, shoulder, forehead. I lift my hips off the ground, push, climb on top.
That's good detail. Danny Choppa says this man really gave Aiden Ross $50K for no reason. He ain't gonna give Ben Askren no money. Maybe he will. Maybe we'll do it secretly, but I haven't heard anything. So he won't give Ben Askren money for a new lung, but he'll give some random streamer dude some money so he can gamble some more. So yeah, that's life, man. That's life. So
all right, so
you guys know I'm jaded. I can talk about UFC all day. Really nice technique by Brzezinski. I'm gonna go give it a try. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's no-gi. I'll give it a try. Probably Saturday. I do want to do a video on Brzezinski. That's gonna be one of the ones I want to do. The only issue is, let me pull this up for you guys real fast. My issue with Adam Brzezinski, you guys should understand this. This man done had 300 matches. Can you guys see that? This man done had 300 matches. I'm cooked. So, if you guys don't know, usually when I do my videos, I research every match. This last video, I had to skip. I was so far behind. I was like, I just got to skip some matches, but I might be watching I'm watching like 100 matches, 200 matches, 300 matches. That's 300 wins plus 63. I'm close to 400 matches. So it's pretty rough on me, guys. So whenever you watch those videos, like the 10-minute video, I didn't watch dang near every match. He got a win from shoulder pressure. He got 2 wins from pressure. How in the world you got that on there? How in the world you got that on there? You guys see that shoulder pressure? God, dog, you got shoulder pressure as a way to win. I don't know if you guys can see. Shoulder pressure right there. You went to a seminar, was very good, would recommend. Well, I'm not doing, you guys do the seminar, I'll do the video. I like to research myself. I like to do the research on the other athletes myself, but the seminars are good too. I want to know everything. So that's it, guys. I'm jumping out of here. UFC BJJ tonight. We'll check it out. I'll spoil it for you guys. We'll see who else popped for you on USADA. You got some more people allegedly. That's basically it, guys. I'm gonna dip. You guys enjoy your Wednesday. You guys know we be streaming Monday through Friday, typically 10:30. I've been training hard, so I got up at 11. I didn't start streaming until 11, so I'm gonna jump out of here, guys. If you guys want to support the channel, Inverted Gear, BJ Mental Models. If you ain't got no money or anything, go check. Just share. Just tell people about the stream. That helps too. Got a new video on my main channel, possibly coming out this weekend, so we'll see. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna dip. Stay out of trouble, man. Eat healthy. Even though I was eating gummies, eat healthy, guys, and just live your best lives. Oh shoot, you got Aiga. Aiga's out this weekend. You got Polaris. So check those things out, guys. It goes a long way when you guys support the athletes. I'd be a little jiu-jitsu'd out by the end of the week though. Because I gotta do my own training, I gotta do research, I do the stream. I'd be tired of jiu-jitsu by the end of the week. End of the week, I'm like, all right, let me do something else. All right, guys, that's it. See you guys. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm still here. Where am I? There we go. You guys know I got my Inverted Gear song. Hey, see you guys. Be safe.